Hey, what up everybody? We are back with another modern video, and unfortunately I would love to show you guys the 5.0 that I had recently made with Boros Energy, but because Daybreak is dealing with some of the infrastructure issues of MTGO, I can't go and record a video of my recordings. They've locked all that down. Womp womp. But what I am going to do is I'm going to run another league with Energy. Now this one's similar to the one that I 5.0'd with. The link for that 5.0 list should be somewhere down in the description or somewhere on the screen. But that deck ran two of Joshua Phoenix's Dominant in the main board. Just in case you don't remember this from the Final Fantasy video, this card you can discard up to two, draw that many, and then flip it over into this powerful Saga on the back. Now, Energy realistically wanted something to do at turns 5 and beyond, and Joshua gives us a good turn 3 and turn 5 play, maybe even turn 4 if we get to discard a Flage with it. Turn 5 and beyond, the Saga does a lot of good things. Gaining life for those gummed up board states that really helps out Ocelot Pride, and a number of other things, alongside reanimating if you get to that last chapter. However, we're going to change things up just a little bit from the 5.0 list that I played. We decided to take out one Joshua because realistically, as a 2 of, that card did wind up in our hands a lot and not end up doing a whole lot for us. We're going to run a 1 of Blood Moon in the main board. If only because Titan is starting to see an uptick again, Tron is starting to see an uptick, and there's been a lot of greedy mana bases on MTGO that definitely make this card feel a little bit worth it. Bad into an Urza Saga, but basically with everything else, it's a very solid play. Outside of that, you're familiar with the Energy Shell. A couple Thraben Charms, a Johnny's, Guide, and Pride. 3 copies of Bombardment, 3 copies of Ragavan, some amount of Galvanic Discharge and Static Prison, 23 lands. Nothing really crazy going on with the main board or even the sideboard. This is about as stock Energy gets, with only a number of the Final Fantasy cards being the big difference. But that's everything. Don't forget to like, and let's go ahead and just, well, we've already gone through Fatal Push. We've gone through basically every removal except for blue. So pongify that subscribe button. Alright, 1 mana blue spell. Turn it into a 3/3 ape. Alright, just hit it, boom, watch it explode and start monkeying around on the screen. It and Ragavan will get to be nice little friends together. Alright, but that's everything. I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, we're going to be on the draw with honestly not a bad hand. Hitting land 3 is going to be great for us. Being able to go Sacred on 1 or even Plains on 1 if it looks like we're in an aggressive matchup seems like a really good plan. We're going to keep it. And let's see what this opponent does. Alright, looks like this opponent is starting off with a Sacred Foundry into a Guide. We are in the Energy Mirror. Alright, well, let's go ahead and just start with this and say go. Alright, our opponent is going to combat, trying to do a thing. Let's see, they might just swing here. If they do, sweet. We're just going to wait until after they get the trigger. I would love for them to try to even jump their Guide of Souls by just casting a aggressive Galvanic here, but I doubt they will. Okay, so opponent's doing the thing. Cool. Trigger's gone by. We're are safe. Do it now. Alright. They go for a pride. Ooh, and they've only got one land. Alright, well that makes this kind of easy for us, honestly. We'll go for a pride of our own. And then we'll pass to our opponent. Okay, so opponent plays Windswept, and they probably drew that for turn, honestly. Shocking in another. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, cool. You get to static prison our thing. That's totally cool. Now here's the real question. Would you... Okay, cool. An opponent has another. Nice. Okay. So, what are we gonna do here? It would make sense for us to just go ahead and static prison the thing, and then maybe get in with Ragavan. I gotta admit, this does seem really good now. So, we will take that. We will dash this. See if we can hit anything cool off of your deck. Ooh, took a Season Pyro off the top. Okay. Well, that would have been stranded in their hand for a little bit, for sure. If we hit land, we can go Flage and... Yikes. They did it, man. They got it. Okay. There's a Flage. Okay. That's rough, but I get it. So, yeah, we will prevent that. We will dash the monkey out. I'm going to go ahead and do all of this. Hit the bombardment off of their deck, and then we'll play this Joshua. If only because discarding both of these doesn't seem that bad, and then we get Ragavan back regardless. I actually like this for us. And then we can kind of bluff removal. We can do a lot. I do hate the fact that we have basically opened up our opponent's hand to maybe getting this. Okay, another bombardment. Well, good news is we can get this Flage out here. Alright, that seals it up for sure. Yes. We will happily keep that there. And then we get to make 2 red. Cast this with one of these, giving it haste. Alright, opponent, you know exactly what we are doing here. There we go. Cool. So, what do we want in this matchup? Definitely Purge. Definitely Wrath. Showdown. Ghost Vacuum. Ragavan's and this Blood Moon are a clear removal in the matchup. Not the Season Pyro. So that's 4 easy cards that we can drop. There's definitely a lot of value to the Goblin Bombardment. Is it weird? But I think we can actually drop a Voice of Victory, maybe? Oh no. It's a really good... such a hard question. I think we do have to go for the Bombardment. Voice of Victory seemed really good. We're not bringing in any creatures necessarily, but our opponent isn't really playing at instant speed that much either. We can generally assume that they're running like the same 75 as us, or at least a very similar 75. They might not have the Blood Moon and stuff main. This is a very solid hand. We have all of our lands. We've got Season Pyro, Sacred Foundry, like 3 lands. 4 is the sweet spot, but having a fetch, a 1-mana removal spell, a Johnny, just everything lines up so perfectly. And having Thraben Charm just to deal with a Graveyarded Flage, huge. Okay, so opponent went for a Windswept Heath and pass. We're okay with that, and honestly, I think our next turn, depending on what they play, if we can go for this Voice of Victory on 2, I think we'll be kind of set. Admittedly, Fetch Shocking here isn't the best, but it could certainly be a lot worse. Okay, so now they're finally cracking their Windswept Heath. Dope. Just gonna get an Elegant Parlor, Surveil. Keeping it on top. Okay, sick. Arid Mesa. You gonna crack it, opponent? Okay, they crack it. And get a... probably just a Plains. Nope, they get Sacred Foundry untapped. Okay, they go for Guide. And I guess Pride. I mean, if you go double Guide, it's not the worst place to be. But who knows? Okay, they go Guide Pride. I mean, this isn't a hard question for us to answer. So let's go ahead and start by killing the Ocelot Pride, or the Guide of Souls. Having Voice of Victory here is going to be nice because it's either they have to kill this with a removal spell or they have to have Flage in hand. But either way, we have answers to Flage. We've got answers in our deck for a massive board. We're just kind of set up for them to go wide with Pride, but slowing it down even just a little bit is extremely valuable. Let's go ahead and just get this Voice of Victory out here. Play it out. Say go. Alright. Opponent shocks in a Sacred Foundry. They're probably going to play a Flage. Yeah. Nope, they're getting a Bombardment. Okay. And then there's a Galvanic. Okay. Again, don't hate everything that's going on here. Alright, so... that's actually a really tough question. So, We're going to fetch and get a plains here. We're going to be very careful with how we discard. A Johnny and that seem like the best things. And then we go and hit a Flage. Again, not the worst spot. I'd love to see our opponent just really go for it here. Okay, they have a Galvanic. They got that bold stuff out of our opponent. Extremely bold. If they have... Wow. Wow. That is an insane turn for our opponent to have. Okay, so personally, I just want to go for the Flage here. Because our Flage getting to swing in for a bunch is insane. And then we can go... Okay. Yeah. I mean, sure, putting them down on some stuff there would have been good. Alright, they get to... see if they hit something. If they hit a Flage, we are cooked. Well, not necessarily. We're not cooked, but we're certainly not doing well. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Okay, some of those are a little good. Nope. Make sure we do this right. Okay, so Arid Mesa, Galvanic, Sacred, and that. Oh, we gotta get one more. Let's go ahead and just take this Season Pyro 2. Alright. I mean, we'll swing here. Now, opponent can go Static Prison this and hit us with a Flage and probably get through a good bit of damage, but they can't return the Flage. And that's kind of our big thing. If they can't return the Flage, we're in a really good spot. And if they don't have a land, they're very limited on what they can do as well. Okay, so they need to put their Showdown of the Skulls ability on the stack. Or at least take that trigger off there. They go. Static Prison. Yeah. It's big. Flage us. Big. You make a big cat. You got 3 energy. And not a whole lot else they can do. Ooh. I do like this. So what we can do on one of our next turns is we can go for the extremely nice line of going voice and a Johnny Hasted and deal just an absolutely insane amount of mana or damage to our opponent. Alright, they got 2 cards in hand. They've got 2 cards in exile that they can still use in a Galvanic. No, it's just a Galvanic they have. And something else, actually. Third Bombardment. Third Bombardment. Oh my god. Cool. Oh, they lose that. Oh, that's actually hysterical. Okay. If they don't kill this Ocelot Pride here. Okay. Can this opponent do it? Because they don't want us to get through for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 right there. We're putting them at 1 if they don't kill this. And we're definitely hitting City's Blessing. This is a wild, wild turn for us. That's crazy. They had to block it. They had to do it. Yes, we'll flip. Oh my gosh, and because our opponent flipped, unless they have a... They can't have a Galvanic. Wait a second. Oh, our opponent gave us a win here. Alright, sick. Hit him for 3, go to second main, activate a Johnny, and shoot our opponent for lethal. Let's go. See you guys in match number 2. Alright, match number 2. We're going to be on the play. This hand is insanely keepable. Like, turn 1 Ragavan into turn 2 Blood Moon seems like something that a lot of decks would be hard-pressed to try and beat. And God forbid they're doing anything boring. Just turn 2 Moon is... Okay. Will they kill this Ragavan? That's really the question that we are wanting answered right now. Okay. Well, there is our answer. They're not doing it. Alright, red, white, and blue. Casting Blood Moon on turn 2. Against Orzhov. Ah. But they do have things they can do. So chances are they would take a Johnny or the Ocelot Pride. Yeah. I mean, we've got options. I mean, I was gonna cast the Thalia, but if the opponent wants to scoop it up, then by all means. Okay, so black white. That Blood Moon did a whole lot of work against them. Sea Purge is definitely coming in. Bombardment's coming out. Ragavan is coming out in some amount. Showdown is coming in. We're basically just treating this as we would a mirror match almost. If we take out all of these Ragavans, Blood Moon is less cool. We'll do it like that. We'll keep one Ragavan. No, Wrath of the Skies has to come in too. Wrath of the Skies is surprisingly good against this deck. It's really good against us, but it is surprisingly good against them if we can establish a board. His hand is super slow. That hand does nothing. This hand is fine enough. Alright, shoot back the Showdown. Put that back. I hope that we can get there. We definitely deserve that after going turn 2 Blood Moon. Okay. Well, we're definitely just getting this out. And next turn, if we can go and hit the Voice of Victory, I don't hate our spot. Alright, so let's go and play the Voice, potentially stop them from casting things on our turn. They're going to go ahead and get a Surveil land more than likely. Oh, no. They do this for a Failure. Okay. Instant speed Failure might mean that they have something good in their hand, probably an Overlord that they can get just super value off of by getting rid of like 7 cards. Or no, not 7. 8 cards. Yeah. They get back Ketramos, because that's the only thing they can get. They have a land. So we know they've got Ketramos and 4 others. Failure, bouncing that. We'll block it. Yep. Getting back probably Failure, maybe the other Ketramos. Okay, yeah, they get another Failure. Unfortunately, we have to just go ahead and do this. And swing. That's 6. I mean, we're going to stack them the right way, just so when we can get the triggers, which if we hit a land and we keep this Voice of Victory, us triggering this might be a lot more of a possibility. That being said, they're definitely just gonna blink our cat token. Like, cat token gets them the most value. They just blink their Ketramos. Okay. Sure. Do you have the ability to... Okay, Solitude. Which is solituding. Voice of Victory is a great solitude target. I mean, We swing. Alright. Wrath of the Skies is a good card. Yeah. Pretty sure we're not getting this one. Alright, so they blink their Ketramos, get Ketramos value. I definitely am questioning if we're going to make it. I don't think we are. We need specifically... Okay, land is good. Land is really nice for us. And we'll go Pride and a Johnny here. There are only 2 cards in exile. That is kind of important. There are now 3 cards in exile. That is really unfortunate. And this Phalia is about to get outside of our ability to kill range. Alright, so hit us for some damage. Can we get through? Emperor of Bones, second main. Okay, don't know why the opponent did that, but hey, they got this one. Alright, so sideboarding, honestly, we'll keep it the same. That Blood Moon Ragavan value was great. We're only hitting that type of move once. We got a mulligan this hand. It's real close though. This one we gotta keep. We definitely cannot mulligan lower than that this game. Alright, we're going to start with... Honestly, let's go with the shock here. Like, Fetch Shock here is probably just as bad as Fetch Shock next turn. Opponent does nothing with that. Okay. I mean, by all means, we're doing this. Okay. And then we will play a Ocelot Pride. Admittedly, we could have just played the Marsh Flats here and then gone for the Surveil and maybe try to hit like a tactical Flage off the top. But I think they're just gonna Solitude Ephemerate. God, I hate it when we call the shot, but it's such an easy shot to call. An opponent waited like they should have. Yeah. Okay. So we're up to 20, down to 17. They'll go up to 21. An incredible turn 2 for our opponent. Yikes. Okay. Double bombardment here seems really bad for us. And I don't necessarily want to keep either of those. We really just want some, like, solid hate pieces more than anything else. Those bombardments would have gone great with this Ajani, though. Holy. Alright. What you got? Is it a Ketramos? Yeah. Okay, so well, if you got it, you would have it, opponent. Yes. And then we will zero this Ajani and make you get rid of that. Alright, there are 4 creatures that are currently, or 4 things that are currently exiled, which is pretty bad. Our opponent is super close to turning on this Ketramos. And it looks like they just hit Solitude and what else? Oh, they just hit Solitude and basically nothing. Okay. Well, we're going to plus this Ajani, because as cool as it would be to just make sure that we have a close to lethal attack on board here. Okay. Pushing that, pretty smart. Opponent has Solitude mana up. Okay, they are just going for the Solitude here. And are they going... What are they going to exile here? That is honestly such a good question. Alright, let's destroy target enchantment, meaning that opponent gets to draw a card. Oh man, this is actually phenomenal. Alright, so Flage does its thing. We get to zero this. We will throw 4 at their face. And I mean, if we can do exactly what we want to do now, we're going to be so good. Okay, opponent's getting some things. Emperor of Bones is such a good hit. If they get to Emperor or Flage, they can shoot down some of our stuff. Ketramos is like 1 turn away from getting turned into a relevant threat. That's spicy. They go for the Solitude though. Okay. They adapt the Emperor. Exiling what? They exile the Season Pyro. Okay. Have us gain some life. They still can't attack here. I mean, we let this happen. Ajani gets knocked down to 2. They are at 5, though. Do they have the ephemerate? Certainly not. Oh. Oh. This relic's actually kind of important for our opponent here. If they have the mana up. Okay, I'll exile a card. You're at 3. And we win the match. Sick. What would we have drawn? Okay, nothing relevant. Except it would have been an extra damage. That was good. I'll see you guys in match number 3. Alright, match number 3, and we're going to be on the play. Hand's terrible. Hand is also terrible, but I really want to keep it. We're going to keep it. We're going to pretend to be mono white. Yeah. We're going to pretend to be mono white. Okay, opponent is blue-white? Oh, buddy. Do you have a Solitude? Oh, this is insane. Okay, so they are something. Alright. Well, here's everything. Yes, we are going to put all of these on so many of these. And we're just going to do it like this. Do you want to kill the Ocelot Pride? Or Big Cat? Okay. Yeah, this is just a wacky turn. That was an insane drop for our opponent, and they scoop it up. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a lot. Celestial Purge, that, and Clarion Conqueror is bad. Orum's Chant is kind of bad. Or is it? Hold up now. We'll drop these Static Prisons and the Discharges maybe if we bring in more stuff, but I can kind of see the vision here. Like, these Galvanic Discharges are definitely a consideration, and I could maybe drop one of that and one of a Discharge for Orum's Chant. I mean, really, just to, like, drive the point home. Or we can just do Deafening Silence and stop them from casting things. There's a lot that we could do here. And maybe I'm just overcooking. Alright, let's start with a Deafening Silence. I mean, this stops our opponents from doing their shenanigans where they ephemerate a target. Alright. Guide of Souls. And say go. And we stop them from casting multiple removal spells in a single turn. Maybe these Deafening Silences aren't that bad. Ooh, a Traxon in the graveyard, though. Traxon in the graveyard, though. Okay, we gotta put that in the graveyard. Oh, this is really crazy. I think we have to go for... It might just be Joshua? I think it's just discard those two? Okay. Hitting another Season Pyro is really bad. If they have Gorios here, they definitely cook us. They go for a tap land. So we are making them only cast things at sorcery speed. If this resolves. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, we get to get an Elegant Parlor next turn, and that's rad. Surely they won't. They're blowing their only spell this turn just to exile that. Well, I mean, we're gonna go for this. Yeah, opponent, you got it. We'll drop that into the yard. I would love an Arena at this point. Arena of Glory just goes incredibly hard. Okay, well. Was there maybe some logic to keeping that? Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. No way. They have another Solitude? Oh my god. Yield until next end step. Alright. Opponent discards a bunch of stuff. We are doing some insane turns here. I mean, let's do this. We're going to discard Season Pyro and a single Sea Purge. Play a land. And then we will keep up Sea Purge and a Johnny for the next turn. Okay, so we can hit that. Opponent's gonna get a bunch of things. They gotta take this Philology and a land. Wow. That is a crazy bad hit for our opponent. They could maybe do the Psychic Frog thing here. Oh my gosh. This Deafening Silence has actually put in a lot of work against the opponent. Alright, so they go for Flooded Strand and a Fajali. Alright. Well, there's one. And nothing good. They picked up an Ephemerate. Play that. So it's Ephemerate. And I mean, I want to cast let's just do Deafening Silence here. And we will pass. And again, maybe we should have held it. Could have been good for Joshua. Well, could have been good for our last season Pyro. Oh man, they could. They didn't go for the Fajali Ephemerate. Pest control. Pest control they do. Okay. Pest control. Okay. So let's go ahead and crack this. Get a plains, and then we will flash back this season Pyro. They Ephemerate the Fajali. Okay. Nothing that they can get back there. Nothing that's worth it. I mean, Voice of Victory is really good. And this is really good. And we just kind of go off from here. I don't want to swing with anything. Let's see what they got. I would really enjoy hitting. There's no way they have an Atraxa in hand, right? They go Ephemerate, Subtlety. Okay, they have Ephemerate. They get Psychic Frog. They're casting Late to Dinner, getting back a creature. Okay, weird. Alright, they take out my Ajani. I mean, it's a little late at this point. But yeah, we'll play this. Swing this. Actually, we'll just swing both of these. Well, Fajali, they can Goryo's something. If they had anything. Eat a food. They can grow their Psychic Frog. They're just making it fly. Okay. Discard another Late to Dinner. Yikes, bro. Okay, Guide of Souls. Well, good news is we can not do a whole lot. They do have a Goryo's in hand. if they hit any of their stuff, Wrath of the Skies, Marsh Flats, so they're keeping the Gorios. They don't have anything in hand, which is crazy. Okay, swing with both of those. We're cool with both of those. Okay. End of turn. We'll flash this back. Alright. So. Flooded Strand. Not that great. We don't have that many cool things left in our deck. I think we're just kind of swinging. Like, we swing out every turn that we can now. Okay, they discard a Prismatic Ending. Can we get anything going here? Opponent draws a card. Okay, Ragavan's something. Okay, let's see if we can... I really just want to take a card off the top of their deck. So it's like, as cool as it would be to gain all of this extra stuff, okay, taking a Fajali off the top is big, actually. Okay, so now we will cast the Fajali Archaeologist. We get a bunch of things. Ooh, Galvanic Discharge. Super good. But we can do this right now. And just exile a bunch of stuff. We will finish taking out honestly, their Fajali has to go. Okay, we are back in the driver's seat. We are struggling to do much in the driver's seat, but we are back in there. Ooh, what did they exiled a bunch of stuff. Okay. They discarded Agorios. So they must have another. They gotta have another. That's 2. Okay. Well then. Let's get to work. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and deal damage to that. Oh my god. Alright, we got there. I'll see you guys in match number 4. Match number 4, we're going to be on the draw with a bad hand to start with. Great hand here. Throw that Elegant Parlor back and run it. Alright, opponent goes Verdant. Definitely an interesting combination that we have not seen in a minute. Just getting a Swamp and a Grave Crawler. Okay. Well, this makes me want to honestly just cast this. Like, we can block that Gravecrawler all day with not a single problem. Marsh Flats getting something. Okay, get a Overgrown Tomb. Malevolent Rumble. What are you rumbling? Flare. Did you just take a Marionette Apprentice? Okay. That's a little worrisome. Well, let's do it like this. And like, yeah, we could have okay, so we're gonna attack here. Push our opponent to block and not sack. Okay, they just take it. They could potentially have almost, well, actually, if they have land and they almost have a combo. Malevolent Rumble again. They are hitting probably this Birthing Ritual. Nope, they take Stitcher Supplier. Okay, so now we are in a interesting spot. I think we're going to go ahead and just get the planes here. We're going to kill that Marionette Apprentice. There's no way that it can live. Alright. So everything is in the yard. And now we get to swing, send our cat flying. And next turn we get to go either a Johnny and a thing, or we just get to go for Flage. Like, everything's coming up Millhouse right now. Now, there is the other problem of we could see a almost combo turn out of this opponent. They have to sack the Eldrazi spawn in order to play the Warren Soul Trader. Okay. They do play the Soul Trader. Sack it. Sack it. You are presenting the combo. Okay. Well, let's crack this. Let's get a mountain. And then we will cast this. Ooh, okay. We got there. Alright, so what do we want? It's obviously Celestial Purge, it's obviously Ghost Vacuum, and I think this Clarion Conqueror is actually kind of goated in this match. Just because it stops our opponent from doing the Warren Soul Trader thing. We take out that Blood Moon because their mana base is super simple, and we take out Ragavans because we know they've got removal for days. There's a argument for this Wrath of the Skies over a Bombardment. That way we can just take out their tokens and little things, and I can maybe see the logic there. We talked ourselves into it. Alright. Incredible hand. Oh my goodness. Guide of Souls Ghost Vacuum is just so good. Alright. Stitcher Supplier. Well, I mean, I know exactly what we have to do here. It's 100%. We eat this Grave Crawler. We maybe eat a Warren Soul Trader. Well, it's really the moment that we can eat a Warren Soul Trader. We do. Oh, buddy. Okay. So bad for us. So bad for us. Alright, Marionette Apprentice. Alright, so they have another Marionette Apprentice in the yard. We're gonna kill that one. Alright. Oh, Sephiroth is huge. Okay. Well, what's Geralf's Messenger? Undying? I don't care about that. Oh, Sephiroth is huge for this opponent. Because it triggers off of our stuff, too. Oh, that's very big. Okay, so we gotta do this, and it's crazy, but I think we don't haste it here, so we can potentially get a good Flage out next turn. Alright. Drop those. Ah, nothing good. Nothing good there for us. Alright, well, we're sending this Guide of Souls up in the air. The good news is we can kill Sephiroth next turn. Okay. Really bad because of this Stitcher Supplier. Oh, this is super bad. Holy. Okay. That Grave Crawler is not good. If they hit the... Oh my gosh. If they hit Warren Soul Trader, we lose. Ah. Okay. Yeah, swing, opponent, swing. Do it. Alright. Well, nothing too crazy in here. We're just going to take that Marionette Apprentice. Okay. Do they have exactly a Flare of Malice in hand? If so, they probably win right here. Okay, actually huge, actually huge. Alright, so many removal spells off the top help us. Okay. Marionette Apprentice hurts. Spymaster's Vault, another Sephiroth. Okay, Flage. Big Flage. Big Flage right now. Okay, so we can take out this Marionette Apprentice. We can swing with this Guide of Souls. As much as we want to do things where we stop our opponent from comboing and everything else, I think it is going to be kind of valuable for us to just hold this mana for as long as we can. Okay. So opponent hits a Boggart Trawler. That's honestly okay. So hitting our Flage is really brutal, but we get it. Alright, opponent's going to swing. And you can only cast that as long as you control a zombie. But you can't cast it at instant speed. Okay. Opponent's probably going to sacrifice the servo and get something. No, they sacrificed the Boggart. Interesting. Okay, so we're hitting that Gravecrawler. Just before anything else can happen. I mean, we do this. We hit the Marionette Apprentice. Or is it actually the Birthing Ritual? Birthing Ritual lets them do too much off the top of their library. So we'll do it like that. Okay. We're putting our opponent in a seriously, hard position to fight back from. And with everything that we're taking out of their graveyard, it's kind of awesome for us. Ooh, okay, you're hitting that with the Abrupt Decay. Well, let's go ahead and just take another Soul Trader from this opponent. Kind of glad that they did that and not the Static Prison. Let's see. And our opponent's just gonna swing in. Yeah. Do what you gotta do there, opponent. Ooh, Chthonian Nightmare, so good. That's gonna let them go kind of hard. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Chthonian Nightmare is really good, actually. This Ajani can be kind of fire. Okay, so we have to keep this under there. We will put the Ajani on the battlefield. Alright. So again, we can make this just very difficult for this opponent to have to try and deal with. And Sephiroth on its back flips into a 5/5. Which is pretty intense for us to have to deal with. Do we want to pop this? Yeah. We gotta make this just such a crazy, nearly lethal attacker that our opponent will not want to do anything with it. Alright. They are really hurting for a lot of different things right now. So, opponent can get a couple Marionette Apprentices and maybe try to combo kill us that way. But they have to sacrifice a Marionette Apprentice or a Sephiroth in order to make that happen. And they're only getting the 2 activations. So Sephiroth won't flip. I'll be able to get this Ajani to flip. I think we might have it wrapped up. Okay, so opponent went for an Unearth on a Marionette Apprentice. And now I guess they're going to go for the Chthonian Knight. They Unearth 2. And then they go for the Chthonian. But what are they going to get back? Because, like, they can deal a lot of damage, but I don't know if they can deal lethal damage here. Oh, but they get real close. Oh my gosh. They actually pulled it off. They had the exact line they needed. Dang. Wow, okay. That was insane. Getting Flayeds there would have been cool, but wow. Alright, so I think we gotta just keep everything like it is. I could maybe see a world where we bring in this Orum's Chant. I mean, yeah, Orum's Chant does a thing that we like. Deafening Silence. I mean, they can just kind of combo kill us. Wrath of the Sky still just might be better. Alright, run it back. At least we're on the play for game number 3. Game number 3, and we're going to be on the play with a just about perfect hand. We're going to keep this. And we're going to start with an Elegant Parlor because they can't really do anything on one that's going to make us. Keep that on top. that will make us want to do anything crazy. Now, Thoughtseize right here does numbers. Okay. Okay, Ghost Vacuum into something. Alright, so this opponent now can do maybe a couple things. If they just go for the attack here, we take one, no matter what. If they play stuff, then... Alright. Now I do think we actually have to go for this line here, as great as it would be for us to just let them do everything they wanted. Okay. So we will take Marionette Apprentice. And honestly, I actually think we keep the static, drop the bombardment here. Because now that we've seen Sephiroth, I think we know that that is the last card that we want to have. Oh, Arena's so good. Oh, Arena of Glory is such a good card. Okay. Shocking that in. Cycling the Unearth. Okay, that is big. That is really big for us. Now, opponent goes for the Stitcher Supplier. Ooh, Marionette Apprentice. And a Spy Master's Vault in the Swamp. Alright, they're playing just that tapped. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Well, we're taking this Marionette Apprentice. We are absolutely going to do this. Okay. And then we can Voice of Victory. Yeah, I think Voice of Victory, Haste is probably the line for us to take here. That way we can just attack through for huge amounts of damage. Alright, so we're going to haste it. Use this and that to haste. Happy to lose that because we've got the backup Arena in our hand. Swing through with everything for a large chunk of damage. Alright, and then all of those go away. Sephiroth triggers there are going to go crazy. Sephiroth triggers there are going to just be absolutely heinous against us. Third Stitcher Supplier is insane. And another Marionette Apprentice and a Geralf's Messenger. Okay. So, we gotta make this difficult for the opponent. Gotta make it difficult for him. Phyrexian Tower is actually really big too, because now they can make a bunch of mana. That'll give them 4, so they can unearth and do something. Okay, they're just going for Sephiroth here. They're just going for Sephiroth. Okay. Alright, so now we know that we're actually insanely safe on our turn. Let's take that Geralf's Messenger. No. We won't prevent that. So let that go to the graveyard as our 6th card. Know that all of our stuff is safe. And then we haste out this Flage. Second arena, opponent. Second arena. Whew. Alright. GG's. See you guys in match number 5. Match number 5, and we're going to be on the play with an incredible hand. We are absolutely keeping this and hoping that our opponent cannot interact with our turn 1 Ragavan. Mulliganing to 6 is a way to start that. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure that we fetch and get a shock land. Alright, say go. Oh, huge. Elegant Parlor there is insane for us. Taking a land off their deck, even better. I absolutely want to cast this Flage here. If only because if I get to do anything next turn, and like, yeah, maybe going for Thraben Charm could have been better. Because if they go for a Johnny here, it's just they've got the best blocker. Ruby Medallion. Storm, you say? I mean, that's step number 1 towards beating this, is taking past In Flames from them. Okay, so opponent's got options, I suppose. But not many. Okay, opponent plays a mountain. They go for a Wish. Wish is a card for sure. But what are they gonna wish for? I mean, I guess they could wish Grape Shot. And, like, Grape Shot kills Ragavan. But they go for Prisma. Okay. Well, let's Elegant Parlor. Let's get a... Ooh, that's a question. Okay, so we can... I think we have to bin it, if only because we want to try and hit fetch land. Okay, Ajani. Ajani is not the fetch land that we wanted. Now we can go... Actually, I don't hate this particular line. Because it lets us cast this, swing, okay, hold up. We might be cooking? Now the problem is... Okay. So you're right that we can do this. Problem is, we do not have the mana left to cast this Thraben Charm. Thraben Charm is such a good card for us in this matchup, but we are basically bluffing right now that we have the ability, okay? Ren's Resolve, there's a Row. Opponent has to hit really well with their Row. Okay, they're trying to guarantee that they have the ability to go off at instant speed. Maybe we're really hoping for a brick out of them. An opponent doesn't really want to play with their land. Oh my gosh, they're going for another? Do they have the Past in Flames that they can cast? There's the Row. Ooh, there's a Valakut Awakening. Ooh, that's a good one. Alright, let's see. Opponent lost the flip. They drew 3, discarded everything. They're casting a Desperate Writ. They lost the flip. They're surveilling. There's no way. There's no way. We got there. Oh my goodness. Alright, on to sideboarding. Alright, so Orum's Chant. Deafening Silence. Wear Tear's almost good. And Clarion Conqueror almost seems good. Blood Moon is terrible. Bombardment's not great. And Honestly, like, these galvanic discharges aren't that stellar either. Yeah. It's like, I almost want to say take out the discharges completely, keeping the bombardments for Johnny, because Celestial Purge only hits Ral. Maybe it should have been the Static Prison. Well, I guess we get to find out, don't we? Alright. Well, we can stop them on a critical turn. Cool. Alright, opponent goes to 19. Gets a fetch land. Bins. Nothing. Keeps the card on top. Yield until the next end step. Bins a Past in Flames. Okay. Nope. Did not mean to do that. Well, just going to leave that there. Alright. We could have been that. It's definitely a problem. Okay. Storm Scale Scion. Yield until next end step. Let's not make that mistake again. We will keep this on top. We will play that. We will pass. I want to see this opponent either go for the best line that they can or just absolutely fumble it. Alright, they go for a Gemstone Cavern. Alright, they Ren's Resolve, Desperate Writ, and Scalding Tarn. They already played land. Stormscale Scion's gonna have to be carrying, but it doesn't look like it's gonna carry. Oh no. Opponent's bricking. They're bricking. Well, now the problem is... Oh, yeah, no, we absolutely just keep that on top. We get to keep our interaction, and we just have, like, pseudo pressure now. Five. Okay, cool. Right, actually... Actually, yeah, we'll let them cast that. They're up to... Oh, sugar, they're up to 6. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this now. We really messed up. We gave them an opportunity. Okay. Now, the problem is, if we miss a land on a Seasoned Pyromancer, I think we're cooked. So, yeah, let's just... We gotta do it. We gotta do this. Okay. So, we... discard Flage, discard Static Prison. We hit land. Oh my god, we hit land. Oh, and we've got so much damage on board. Alright, so if they go for... Yeah, we are definitely just exiling a graveyard in response here. Alright. Dang. Our opponent did not hit well there, and we got there. Oh my god, another 5-0 league. Alright, see you guys in the wrap-up. Alright, so what do we think of the deck? It went 5-0. It's a back-to-back 5-0 for us. Boros has been the truth for a minute, and honestly, I feel like this is really good right now. The Blood Moon came up in a couple of really relevant spots. Joshua hasn't been like the most impressive card, but the deck just works. Tweak the sideboard to your liking, and don't forget to like, subscribe, make some comments down there. Let me know what you want me to play next. I'm into it. I'm loving Modern. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.